Hello and welcome to 16 Ounce Cinema Presents Movie Bozos. I'm TJ here with Bjork.
Howdy.
And I guess since you and Mike had a podcast, we inevitably had to have our own podcast as well.
Yeah.
We've named it Movie Bozos, so you don't get your hopes up on any good, insightful critique of any of the movies we choose to do. And we're free to do whatever moronic, bonkers marathon we want to do. And you want to do the honors of our first marathon to debut the show with?
Yeah, we've decided to start the Movie Bozos podcast off with Rin Tin Tin of all things.
Every Rin Tin Tin movie, every Rin Tin Tin Junior movie, and Rin Tin Tin the Third has one movie which we will watch. But first, I think you have read up on some history. I just got the book on Rin Tin Tin.
I have a fake book.
So you're a little bit ahead of me on the history of this forgotten star. This is an A-lister who got first billing in his movies. And now some people might not know. They might think that this is some unheard of Chinese actor, right? But you're going to set them straight here with the history of Rin Tin Tin.
Rin Chin Chin, Hong Kong's finest.
The progenitor of Kung Fu.
Oh my god. So yeah, I've got a bit of Rin Tin Tin trivia from an article I read on Archive, and first 25 pages of the book I think I read. It's quite
so we're both
interesting.
also reading, Susan Orlean's book. So
yeah, I've
throughout
got
this
the
marathon,
proper version. You've got that fake version.
Yeah, so Bjork got a picture or a copy of the book over there in the UK that actually has a picture of Rin Tin Tin's face on it. Mine, It could be a double, and it's the back of his head. And I'm like, what actor has the back of his head on the cover of his biography? That's just disrespectful.
Such a
But they still don't know who Rin Tin Tin is. Maybe.
Yeah,
Some people
true.
are wondering.
So, Rin Tin Tin was rescued from an abandoned German war dog station in 1918 by a guy called Lee Duncan. And as a kid, Duncan owned a dog called Jack, but his family moved away. And this sounds like some plot you might see in a bad soap opera. But he was like, Mum, when are we going to go back for Jack? And his mother's like, oh, we'll send for Jack. But the mother never sent for Jack. He never saw that dog ever again. Yeah, this dude's life is miserable.
Okay, so this happens in World War One. Now this, I gotta say, I did read the first couple pages of the book, and it starts with this man in the 50s, barely hanging on, feeding his dog food he gets for free.
Yeah, that's when he's with Rin Tin Tin the Third, and he wants to hang on to that sponsorship, but the dog food company just wants to dump him. Like, Rin Tin Tin's not in now.
It never really came through for Mr. Duncan here.
No, and it's like goes on a love story about his childhood, growing up in an orphanage and everything.
Well, I think we anticipated the great reveal there by Rin Tin Tin is a dog.
Yes, he's a dog.
A German Shepherd.
Yep. And at the height of Rin Tin Tin's fame in the mid-20s, he was getting 1,200 fan letters a week, which is crazy.
Ooh.
Like, dogs can't even read. And he earned $6,000 a month. Oh, and he was insured for $100,000 in case anything happened to him.
Did you do the inflation on the $6,000 a month?
Oh no, that didn't even cross my mind.
All right, you keep talking, and I'll do that.
Okay, so being the diva that he was, Rin Tin Tin had his own personal valet, his own chef, his own limo, and the limo came with its own driver. And Rin Tin Tin even had his own orchestra that would play mood music for him when he was feeling down. And he had 18 doubles for when he was tired.
This is what really got me interested in Rin Tin Tin, because I read Janine Basinger's book of, various silent stars.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the chapter about Rin Tin Tin that basically says that this German Shepherd became a movie star diva.
Yeah, and at the time they were treated like actual actors, and they got proper critical evaluations for each one of the movies.
Yeah, Yeah, like there were like, competitors who like would in the reviews they'd say they weren't as good as Rin Tin Tin. They
Yeah,
would like professional critics would actually evaluate their performances like they would any other actor.
yeah. I read one of the critical reviews, and it said a dog called Ranger was received a humiliating review where he was called out for not being a good actor. Like Jesus, it's a
Can
fucking
you
dog.
imagine? Bad actor. Bad actor.
And like the
Go lie
dogs would
down.
actively compete with each other as well. Like Rin Tin Tin had a rival who was called Strongheart. He was also a German Shepherd dog.
That's a great name.
And in a newspaper, the newspaper people had to assure the public that he was part of the Red Cross and not a frontline dog trooper.
Oh.
So that they weren't rooting for a Nazi at the cinema.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Well, he was before the Nazis and the fascists.
Oh yeah, yeah, true. I keep getting the
Yeah,
fucking
it's
World
World
Wars
War
mixed
One,
up.
dude, not World War
I
Two.
hear them
Red
mixed
Tintin was
up.
dead before World War Two.
I
$6,000 in 1925, by the way, $90,000.
Jeez.
So
Rin Tin
he's
Tin's not doing
making
too bad for
90,000
himself.
a month times 12. So dude's clearing, a little over $1 million a year, just being a dog.
Where did all that money go though? If Lee Duncan was barely hanging on in the
Right, right.
50s,
What did Lee Duncan do with this? I guess it went to the fucking orchestras and the limo drivers and the 18 doubles.
he
Like,
just receives Rin Tin Tin's like payments after he dies. You're his next of kin. This is your
oh
problem
my
now.
god, what if he couldn't get any more royalties because it was a dog?
Yeah, yeah. He never copyrighted Rin Tin Tin. I read that earlier. He never copyrighted him, so I think he died
Oh,
penniless.
okay.
Classic
Wow.
Duncan.
All right. So we are marathoning the Rin Tin Tin movies, although basically all of them are missing.
Yeah, there's a ton of ones that just aren't anywhere. They're pretty much lost
Which
films.
which is just I wonder. I haven't read. Maybe you have read, but did he have like international acclaim as well, or was this
Yeah,
a
he was a
primarily U.S. thing?
universal star. Everyone all over the
Okay,
world knew Rin Tin Tin.
I kind of assumed because especially the silent era, since there was no having to dub or anything, you just change your title cards, your intertitles,
Oh yeah,
and
this guy was
put
like
them
up there
all over
with
the world.
Chaplin.
Yeah. He's a United Dog Artist. He starts his own production company.
That'd be sick.
All right, so for the original Rin Tin Tin, we have what? One, two, three, four movies.
It's not too
So
bad.
let me. Well, yes, there's four movies and then two 4-hour serials that exist for him.
Have you
And
had a
so
look for any of Rin Tin Tin Jr.'s work?
I've not gotten there yet. I
Ah,
focus just on Rin Tin Tin. Also, um, because I wanted to do my research to know how many of these original Rin Tin Tin movies we were going to do and where we could find them. Because
hmm
I think the his Junior's movies are going to be easily available.
yeah, I think so. I think half of them are on YouTube.
Right, and that's where we watched our first movie. We watched it on YouTube, Where the
Yeah,
North Begins from 1923.
and it's a silent film, of course, but silent films aren't
Yes.
usually actually silent, but this film had no audio or sound whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, so I totally just put on like ragtime piano music and like 20s music. Occasionally weird blues with lyric or vocals came on, and so I had to like get rid of those, but I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, I,
This is
I didn't think to
also
do that. I was just playing the song in my head like that cliche song you get on all those YouTube silent films, that dumb piano score.
um, also directed by D.W. Griffith.
What?
No, it's directed by Chester M. Franklin,
My
who's
heart just
nobody.
sank for a second. I was so confused.
Um, oh, did you see that there's a colorized version on YouTube?
Oh no, I didn't.
Well, apparently it's colored by AI, it says, and it actually didn't look too bad. And
Did it
I
have
mean, I don't
audio?
know.
Ah,
It didn't have audio, and I'm against watching colorized versions of black and white
Yeah, I
movies,
think they're
but
so
I'll you know
stupid. Like, I've seen
I'll
some
look at
Laurel and
them out of
Hardy ones
curiosity.
colorized, and they look dog shit.
Yeah, this didn't look too bad. I also think that it must have been a colorized version of the same print or rip that the black and white one was, but there does seem to be a little bit more clarity in the picture than the black and white one.
Hmm.
So just putting that there for anybody who actually wants to see Rin Tin Tin, um, that if you're not a purist for black and white, I would almost recommend the color version just because there, like I said, there's more clarity in the picture. But I'm a purist, and so I'm never gonna watch that colorized version in full.
Yeah, me and TJ are serious cinephiles. That's why we're doing Rin Tin
Yes,
Tin.
yes. When we're doing our Rin Tin Tin marathon here, we will accept no substitutes and nothing but our director's original vision.
D.W. Griffith's original vision.
I will not disrespect Charles or Chester.
Uncle
Uh,
Fester.
Chester, Uncle Chester's original vision of a black and white Rin Tin Tin. Um, so it opens up and it says the famous police dog. So like, there's two movies before this where Rin Tin Tin was supporting, but is he already famous at the point where The North Begins comes out?
I don't know. I haven't gone that far in the book to his movie days yet, but I
All
don't
right,
think he
so
would
we'll
be
have to
too
come back to
famous.
that. We'll have
Yeah.
to remember that one. But it says the famous police dog, but he was a war dog. But I guess that doesn't look so good up on screens in 1923. The famous war dog, Rin Tin Tin.
Straight from the
Kill
battlefield
50
into
men.
your hearts, Rin Tin Tin. And we get told
Uh,
that Rin Tin Tin is the French symbol for good luck. That's apparently what his name means.
oh yeah, I
Which
did
is
read that.
immediately followed by his sister died of pneumonia.
Oh yeah, he's not so lucky. And I was also curious if that was true.
Yeah, I haven't read that in the
But
book yet.
damn, we should have waited to record till we read a few more chapters. Okay,
Right,
so
true.
Rin Tin Tin came over from the war where he killed 50 men, and then he became a famous police dog. And it opens up with actually some nice, beautiful shots of the snow. It's
Yeah,
like
I
a
was
kind of wide
surprised by
angle.
how nice the cinematography actually was at
Right, I
parts.
was surprised there's a tracking shot behind the sled, and Rin Tin Tin is a puppy within like a little cage, and you actually get like some POV shots of his in the cage as it first follows the sled and then flies off of the sled.
Yeah, and
And then like the
imagine how
guy,
big that 1920s camera is as well.
right, yeah, it's impressive. I did not expect to see like any kind of visual flourishes
Yeah,
in the first Rin
definitely.
Tin Tin movie.
We've got more to look forward to.
Right, yeah, maybe it just gets better from here.
Yeah. And the crate that Rin Tin Tin's in falls off the back of the guy's sled, and it was his only cargo. Somehow he had no
Right.
idea this happened. He didn't hear a thud or anything.
Yeah, this guy does not give a shit. He's just some guy. He's just running a job. He's like, oh, I lost the dog. And,
Oh,
yeah,
why
what do
is
you
my
want?
sled so much lighter now? Guess I'll keep going and not look behind.
Yeah.
And you get, I don't know why a timber wolf's a thing. They call the wolves in this timber wolves.
Oh yeah, they just like accept him. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's like
falls in with the
Jungle
wolves.
Book. They're making one of his own and raise him as a wild
Right,
wolf.
I thought that was really funny. Like instead of just a little boy raised by wolves, it's
Rin
just
Tin Tin
Rin
raised by
Tin Tin, a
wolves.
little puppy just raised by wolves. I was like, all right,
It's
I can
great.
understand the parallels. It's easy to understand.
And it says Rin Tin Tin developed the cunning and fierceness of a wolf, but deep down he knows he is still a dog, and it's his dog instinct that keeps him aloof from the wolf brethren. So he's like kind
Yeah,
of
I
an
mean,
outsider in his own pack.
we gotta, give it some grace. It's the 20s, so of course it assumes all these species roles on Rin Tin Tin.
Yeah, of course.
Um, and then we meet the people, and there's basically just the typical Hollywood rich guy with
Yeah,
a poor guy with a heart of gold love triangle with the girl.
yeah, the McTavish family.
Yeah, so
You
we,
keep
we
dropping
meet
your headphones or
McTavish.
something. I keep hearing really weird noises on your end.
I move around and it bumps
Oh,
things.
right.
Yeah. Um, So we meet Gabrielle, and I forget the McTavish girl's name. I just know
Felice.
McTavish.
She's in that chair knitting, and this is when the film turned into a horror film for 2 seconds. Did you notice that when it like abruptly cuts to that cat, it looks like the cat's covered in bright red intestines?
Oh, I actually wrote Tangled Cat. Aww. Because
Oh,
his whole
I thought
thing
it was
did not look like
horrifying.
intestines to me. No, I thought it was adorable.
Oh,
But but to me what was horrifying was Gabriel walks in the door, tells her he has a surprise, and
wait,
she's
they
like,
pulled out
"Oh,
that
a
baby?
surprise. What could it be?" He pulls a baby out of his backpack. Like I was
Yeah,
like, "What? Did this guy just kidnap a baby?"
that's what I thought. That baby looks 2 years old, so I'm thinking he either kidnapped
Right.
it or he brought it from some other family.
He's like,
his
my friend say
ex-girlfriend.
if baby they intertitle him with like a French Canadian accent, but it's like my friend say if baby die, take care of it. He die, so I
So I
take
take care of
baby.
baby.
I'm going a little Russian because I can't do French Canadian. So
Yeah, I tried
guess
doing a
Gabriel
French
is just
accent and
Russian.
it turns out Italian.
Yeah, those Russian Quebec people. So yeah, he just took a fucking kid. I
Yeah,
guess
his friend definitely
authorities
didn't
don't
like him,
care
but-
what these trappers do.
Yeah, it's outlaw land. No rules apply. And yet that big
I also
bad
wrote-
boss Galloway, who uses his position as the factor to mask his evil doings. Such a
That's
weird
a
story.
weird phrase I've never heard. Factor, but yeah, he's just totally just the bad guy.
Yeah,
he's
and he
rich
runs some-
and he's the bad guy.
And he runs some weird fur pelt operation.
Yeah, and he's embezzling money through it, and he really wants Felice McTavish to like him or be his wife, but she seems just kind of like, yeah, if Gabriel wasn't in the picture, she might, even though he's a completely shitty person.
Yeah, it doesn't seem there's many options in those parts.
Yeah, I guess that is a problem in the 20s films. Like, women are just ready to settle. They only have two choices. It's the poor guy who brings home babies or the rich guy who's an embezzler. I wouldn't pick either of those guys.
I know, right? And he has his side piece as well, his housekeeper, who sits next to him by the fire like his lapdog.
Well, I wish there was more of his side piece. I love that the intertitles just say, like, the town knew her as his housekeeper, but she was more than that, or something like that. Like, it's basically, even the intertitles are just kind of like, we all know she's his whore who stays in his house.
Yeah, I think it even said that it's his housekeeper, and he refers to her as housekeeper, like he didn't call her name or anything.
Right, but the intertitles wink at that, like, she's not really the housekeeper, but that's what he calls her.
Yeah,
I forget I didn't write down the exact wording.
I don't know why she wants to willingly help him with his evil plans. It's strange.
And half the time you see her, he's sitting down and she's on the floor, like draped over his knees.
Yeah, she's literally like one of his fur pelts.
Right. She's just his blanket by the fire.
Yeah, pretty much. And he also has that slave guy who is called the Fox.
The Fox.
That does his evil
Yes,
bidding.
his yes man, his henchman.
Yeah. And Galloway, the bad guy, offers French Gabrielle, $500 if he will deliver the fur pelts, and he willingly accepts.
Right, down this like ultra dangerous path that no one wants to take. It seems like you would just have like another path at this point, right? Like you're a trading outpost. And if this one path is so bad, fucking find another one to do your trade.
And he willingly accepts because it's $500, and apparently that's how much it costs to get married in the wilderness.
I don't know. Gabriel is stupid, and Galloway probably just told him that. I wrote that in my notes. Gabriel is sweet, brave, and stupid.
And French.
Yes.
He cuts to his stolen baby once Gabrielle goes back to the house, and the baby's chewing on some kind of beef jerky. And I thought this...
No.
Well, what was it?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, well,
it was her dad's cigar.
Oh, was it? I think it was like beef jerky or something.
I did too at first because he's like chomping away, and it probably in reality was beef jerky. But then after, like, at the very end of the scene, it's like the scene continues away from the baby, but as it, like, goes away from the baby, in the background, you, like, see the dad kind of, like, notice what's going on and go, and, like, take it away from the baby. And that's when I
Right.
realized, oh, that baby was eating a cigar. That's
Yeah, the
disgusting.
baby just looks at him, starts crying, then the dad gets all pissy.
Yes, that's why he got mad, because the baby was eating one of his
I
cigars.
think he was just pissed he was eating his jerky. I guess it makes more sense now.
I should say now, it takes a long time to get to Rin Tin Tin in this first movie. I hope they're not all like this. It's like, it's not bad. This thing's only a little over an hour long, and it's got
Yeah.
to set up some kind of human plot.
You know,
But
some of the stuff in this film, I really hope the films take a different direction after this one.
I, I mean, I didn't mind this as just like a typical pulpy adventure movie,
Hmm.
and I think it takes a little long to set everything up, but once it's set up, it does tell a good dog story.
Yeah, eventually gets going, just takes a bit. So, Galloway sends his evil fox henchman again ahead of Gabriel to ambush him, and the fox hides in a tree with a rifle. And why do the Gabriel's sled dogs randomly stop in front of that tree? It doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
I don't know. Maybe he just wanted a break. I don't know.
It's just like too much of a coincidence that they would stop in front of the ambush tree. It's really strange.
Yeah.
They probably got sick of fucking Gabriel whipping them and just wanted him to die. Won't surprise me.
Like, maybe he was like, well, I guess the fox was there. I was gonna say maybe he was going the wrong way and the dogs knew it. You know, like dogs and horses get to know their paths and they just go along the path. And maybe
Yes,
they're just like, where are you taking us, dude?"
especially when there's only one path that people keep dying on. I'm sure they'd be very familiar with it.
Yeah, they follow the scent of death to guide them.
So the fox and Gabriel get into a shooty fight and shoot each other back and forth, like 10 feet away from each other. And Gabriel rolls backwards down a diagonal hill that's neither steep or treacherous, and he doesn't bang his head, but he somehow ends up getting knocked unconscious for like 3 hours. And the fox didn't even finish him when he had the chance. He just left him.
Like he just assumed he was dead. Like he didn't do a double tap or anything. He's like, good enough.
Yeah, the guy's a real amateur. So then Gabriel wakes up half dead in the blizzard, and this is when we see Rin Tin Tin and the wolves fighting over who gets to eat him.
Oh right, yeah. That was kind of cool that he's defending him from getting eaten.
Yeah.
Or not. I guess he's defending his own like meat actually initially.
Yeah, I was
And
not
I
a
was
fan
kind
of
of like,
this
is
fight.
this? I was wondering if this dogfight was humane or not. Like,
No, was
was
it?
pretty
Fuck, this
serious.
was brutal.
yeah, dude. I
They made
can't
a
imagine they
dogfight
used the
all
real
of-
Tin 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 for this fight.
It was out one of his doubles. I hope he did.
Yeah, they threw
This
in
was
the
crazy.
doubles to get fucking chewed up by a wolf.
Imagine all the Rin Tin Tin doubles that must have died from wolf fights and crap
Oh,
like
just
that.
for all the dog fights they had. Oh
Yeah.
no, that's horrible.
Another
Yeah, I
one's
was like,
dead. Throw him on the pile.
that's one thing like I didn't consider because like I knew Rin Tin Tin lived a very long life.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like he was a diva, right? So I didn't consider that watching any of his movies you would see inhumane treatment of animals. Because I'm like, oh, it's Rin Tin Tin. He was a fucking star. They wouldn't mistreat him. But yeah, of course they would fucking abuse his doubles and make them dog fight in front of us.
You watched this with your kid, right?
Yeah.
What did your kid think of it?
He really didn't have a lot to say. He kind of sat and watched. He played. He came and went. I don't know if I have any immediate notes here. Maybe down the line I do, since we're going through the plot.
Alright. Yeah, I
have a
couldn't
couple
imagine
quotes
watching
from
this
him.
as a kid.
And he did want to watch more Rin Tin Tin when this was done. I'll say that. So,
Oh, that's good. Hopefully the film
Yeah.
pick up a bit and less violence.
right. I don't have a full-on commentary from him, but he likes silent films. He doesn't often like. I have to convince him to sit down for them, but like he's watched some Buster Keaton shorts and Charlie Chaplin shorts, and he likes them.
Yeah, cinephile in the making. That's how you do it.
Yeah. My dog is adding his voice in the background, panting. I hope that doesn't turn up on my track.
Yeah, I'll add to the emergence. It's like Rin Tin Tin's really here. He's watching over us.
He's an 80-pound dog. He Last Malamute looks almost German Shepherd. Anyway, so yeah, we finally meet Rin Tin Tin, and I felt bad for him. Well, after this fight, right? Because like, then this. Oh, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. So they have the fight.
Then Rin Tin Tin, like, aggressively bites Gabrielle's leg. He's proper going for it.
Right? Yeah, he almost
really
eats the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually wrote it here talking about that fight. Did we see him actually kill another dog?
That dog looked dead. I'm not even joking.
I think yes, so warning for, animal people.
Yeah, I'm an animal person. This was too much for me.
Maybe we'll get into it as we're reading the book, but there's a good chance you see a dog kill another dog right there.
I was trying to see if his chest was going up and down, but I didn't see any breathing, so...
No, but the only thing is, if they threw them in a fight like that, I mean, unless they, I guess it was bad days for animals back then, they could have just drugged one dog to make him slower, right? To ensure the outcome.
Yeah, and he's fighting an actual wolf, so the wolf has to be somewhat trained. So maybe he was playing dead. I hope he was playing dead.
I don't know, but the way they were playing, because when dogs play, they'll tussle, but they don't quite get up on each other the way those dogs were doing.
Yeah, they were really going for it.
In here too, though not during the fight, but there's a shot with the snow and Rin Tin Tin in the snow in this blizzard, and it's literally just they're throwing snow in this poor dog's face.
I can't believe
trying to blink it away.
Yeah.
There goes the robot telling my son to use the toilet.
So before Rin Tin Tin rips Gabriel's face to shreds, his heritage is dog ancestors persuade him not to tear his face off, and instead treat him as his master and friend.
And then Rin Tin Tin goes and takes a bath to wash all the fucking blood off of him.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get fish, but he didn't get fish for Gabrielle. He just chilled.
It was just so random. Even that was one of my son's quote. What's that dog doing in that water? And I was like, I don't. That's kind of just a random dog in the water shot. So my vote is that Rin Tin Tin was washing the blood off his paws.
Yeah, that would not surprise me. Why is this river so red? So then the fox comes to see if Gabrielle's basically dead.
He finally comes back around for the double tap. What, hours later? What did he do? Did he just have to a really bad shit and he had to run off?
I think he just might have camped in that tree for a bit while the blizzard was on. And he shoots Gabrielle in the leg, which is never brought up again.
Well, yeah, he shoots him, gets him, and then Rin Tin Tin gets him a death from above, jumps at him and pulls him off of a ledge.
Yeah, the guy acting, the fox actor, he looked legit scared. Rin Tin Tin looked like he was gonna kill him. He was not letting him go.
Yes, I wrote it here. Don't fuck with Rin Tin Tin. My jaw dropped with just the aggression and the acrobatics.
Yeah, each time he got up that little hill, he just grabbed his leg, pulled him right back down, and the fox at one point just picks him up and launches him across the screen, and he just comes right back and gets him. It's crazy.
I know. Maybe my wife was walking by and just stopped to watch Rin Tin Tin attack this man.
It's so crazy.
I actually have a quote from her in that moment.
Oh yeah?
Rin Tin Tin is killing that dude in front of our kid.
It's okay, it's a 1920s film.
Yeah. He doesn't know. It's not that graphic, except it fucking is. Rin Tin Tin is eating that man.
It's not as bad as the later on scenes though, but we'll get to those soon. Those later scenes are so bad. So,
oh man, so
Rin Tin Tin rips a piece of clothing off of the fox's outfit, and I thought Gabriel recognized the outfit because he pulled a face, but he doesn't. And then they head to not home, but on the way home they go to that cabin and they cuddle.
There's an outpost cabin for the travelers to stop at. That was pretty common.
Yeah, that's even my favorite part of the film.
Even Florida had one of those. We don't still. a barefoot mailman who would like travel between
I thought you said
basically
Bigfoot
where I live
mailman.
and barefoot mailman. He would walk the beach. There's a couple places where he'd have to swim across lagoons, but mostly like there's two big
The
crossings.
hell? None of the letters get wet.
Well, there's two big crossings with boats, right? And he basically traveled from my town, well, not my town, but Lake Worth, basically my town, to Miami. And it was a 7 day walk. He'd walk on the beach, have a couple points where he had to cross on a boat. He did not swim, that was incorrect. And they'd have a couple on the beach, they'd have a couple just like little shacks, kind of like this, where he could stay the night along his trails. And yeah, a lot of them died. Well, one of them died because somebody used his boat. So basically, he would use the boat to cross one way, get down to Miami, and when he got back, the boat would be there waiting for him to go back the other way. Nobody else was supposed to use the mailman's boat. But somebody did, so the boat was on the other side, so he decided he had to swim across, and then he was never seen again, probably eaten by alligators.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
This sounds medieval.
This was like late
How old are you again? When did this happen?
late
This is
1800s.
crazy.
Well, I mean, usually
That's so
they would just
crazy.
cross on a boat and not get eaten by alligators. And it sounds lovely, like just 7 days walking on the beach. No, it was 6 days, and then he'd have like Sunday off. That was his job.
I don't know.
Every
That sounds
week.
like a crappy job to me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like to just walk for 6 days outside and then only have Sunday off. That would be pretty bad. Like, but that was his life. And that's kind of Gabriel's life. So he stops in this little shack with Rin Tin Tin, but leaves Rin Tin Tin outside.
Oh yeah, and is this when he leaves Rin Tin Tin after they play? Oh no, Rin Tin Tin comes in and then they play tug of war and hide and seek, which is so cute.
Yeah.
Easily the highlight of the film for me. I loved it. Him crawling across that mantelpiece, that was so cool.
When they're bonding but now
Yeah,
Rin Tin Tin is still a dog caught between two worlds.
Yeah, the vicious dog that almost gnawed his face off is now licking his face. He's like he's bipolar. Rin Tin Tin is a bipolar
It is
dog.
like he's bipolar. He wants to be a wolf and he wants to be a pet.
I want to see a really dramatic trailer for this film. The dog caught between two worlds.
Just Rin Tin Tin, like, look at his paws over his eyes, just like,
Yeah, awesome, like deep, film metaphor. Like Rin Tin Tin is actually an analogy for mental health.
shot in
Like,
4x3.
that. Yeah, like really pretentious.
To
That'd be so
represent
great.
the claustrophobia and the confinement he feels in the world of men.
This sounds too good to be true. This is like so
A
perfect.
Rin Tin Tin art film
Oh my god, this has to happen. Released by A24.
directed by Robert Eggers.
Oh, it'd have to start with the Rin Tin Tin, like the lighthouse and the Vivitch and the Norseman.
The Rin Tin Tin. The Renty.
And like Rin Tin Tin now has a voiceover, just open like, shh, I'm not like other dogs. I'm caught between two worlds.
Oh, man. So Gabriel
This
finally gets
happened.
home, and he's like, hey,
Yeah.
guess what? I have a surprise!
Oh, not another baby, Gabriel.
So now he's brought home a baby and a dog in, like, I would say the reverse order, except, like, bringing home a baby is not in any way normal. You don't just bring a baby home in a backpack. That's not
The
okay.
1920s a very strange time.
Right.
His fiance seems fine with both the baby and the dog.
Yeah, so I guess
He's
maybe
pretty
they're meant to
chill.
be. She might, we don't get much of her character, but it might be she's just as stupid as Gabriel.
Yeah, or if she like talks back or objects, Gabriel
mean-
might just backhand her because it's the 20s.
I mean, we don't honestly know. It could be that, like, Gabriel had a second family, and that's where the baby came from. Like, where does he go? We don't know where he
I
goes.
was thinking that.
Maybe he's
yeah.
a psychopath, and he has a second family that he murdered his wife in a fit of rage. And brought his
Gabriel
only
the
child
axe
back to
murderer.
police and said, "Oh, my friend, he
my
died. I
God.
take baby."
We are so over-analysing Rin Tin Tin
Where
films.
the
We're
North
looking
begins.
between the
There is a
lines and there's
lot
nothing
of
there.
darkness
Yeah.
lurking beneath where the North begins.
There's so much subtext to this old ass film that no one's seen.
The simple dog's adventure is much more complex than it
Let's see
seems.
how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Well, so anyway, Gabriel gets blamed for the loss of the furs,
Oh yeah, by Galloway.
and now
Oh, and that investigator's there, and what's his name? Gabriel pulls out the cloth, and he's like, Rinty tore this pelt off the man, so whoever he is, I'll find
oh
him.
yeah, because that would hold up in 1920s court, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that's the barest evidence is the dog doesn't like him. He must be guilty. Like this dog, also this wild dog that no one knows,
This wild murderous dog caught between two worlds.
doesn't like him.
I love to see the Rintintin, the courtroom drama.
Just-
Exhibit A, the half-chewed cigar.
Can you imagine like calling the cops and just be like, my dog doesn't like this guy. Book him.
I would not be surprised if there was an actual case like that in the 20s. That'd be so
I'm
cool.
sure people have tried calling 911 saying their dog didn't like someone.
Or if like Rin Tin Tin got like charged with manslaughter or something.
Yeah, if they're gonna do that, they should charge Rin Tin Tin for all his fucking crimes.
Your Honor, my client has PTSD. He did not know what he was doing.
Oh no, Rin Tin Tin PTSD, he's having these fucking World War One flashbacks. Just going crazy.
Back in the
tagging
trenches.
people, thinking they're French soldiers.
No, Rinty, no! Quick, play the orchestra music. Calm it down.
Oh my god, this is bad news for Gabriel, since he's an ex-German soldier. He's gonna hear that French accent and just fucking snap. He's like, Rin Tin Tin, mon ami, and he's like, what?
Growling pounces on him.
So I took no notes for like the human plot in here with the intrigue of Galloway and all that. I skipped
I've got
right
some
ahead
for
to
that.
where the. Do you want to talk about it? I don't know. It's not to
Yeah,
do with
we
Rin Tin
can.
Tin.
This
and
is
it's
when,
kind of standard plotting.
Oh, hello McAfee, thanks for popping up in front of my nose. So this is when Gabrielle sees the fox and Rin Tin Tin basically tries to kill him again, and they have a little struggle and he jumps on top of the counter, basically trying to kick Rin Tin Tin because he will actually kill him. And this is when Rin Tin Tin gets introduced to the baby. And I would not let this fucking dog near a baby. It almost killed a person twice.
He's not got a trusted track record yet.
I was on
the
the edge of my seat watching that scene with the baby. I was
like,
just gonna snap.
Yesterday, this dog tried to eat me. I wouldn't put him in front of my 5-year-old, let alone a baby.
God, yeah, Gabrielle's got a screw loose or something. He's not sane. So Galloway orders the fox to hide the furs in Gabrielle's cabin, so that the police will search his cabin and
that's
think
important.
that
Yeah,
he.
It's a good thing you took
freed him.
notes on this stuff.
Oh yeah, I write down every little detail when watching something. That's why I have to pause it. I can't just like sit through it like Mike does and just.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like to pause, so I scribble my notes really quickly. That's why sometimes, like, especially on the main show, 16 on Cinema, you'll hear me like, "Oh, what the fuck did I write?" Because I don't pause. I don't want to pause. I just want to scrabble my notes as fast as possible.
Yeah, I
and
think
not
it took me
ruin
like
the flow of the movie.
2.5 hours to watch the film because I always pause.
Oh, jeez, yeah, I don't have that kind of time.
So Rinty gets jealous of the baby and he doesn't kill him, but he rips off his clothes. And the Native American babysitter isn't too happy about this, so she throws him out.
She kind of came out of nowhere. Like suddenly they have like.
Yeah.
I guess that's an American tradition because Angus and I just watched The Fear 2 and there just happened to be an Indian living in the house. So I guess that's an American Hollywood tradition. It's just Indians, just
Yeah.
or Native
the Native
Americans,
American babysitter, Sitting Bull.
How are you calling them? You got me calling them Indians. No one calls them Indians over here anymore. Is that still a UK thing?
Well, I didn't call him an Indian once. I called him Native American.
So you said Indian.
No, I didn't. I said
I'll have to
Native
play it back.
American.
Edit this out. Oh, good God. Fine, I messed up because I've been drinking. The Native American, like, just living in the house.
Yeah, well,
American
just
Hollywood
refer
tradition.
to her as Sitting Bull from now on.
Oh my god. Okay. So, yeah, she comes out and, like, takes away the naked baby.
Yeah. And this is when Rinty pulls off that fucking sick high jump. Like, that's 2 stories he managed to wall scale. It's crazy.
Oh, but yeah, when he gets kicked out and then the fox comes to attack
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the the woman and the
Like, it
baby.
took him a
So
few
Rin Tin Tin is
tries.
no longer in the
But I'm
house.
glad they showed
Huh?
his attempts because it makes the eventual, like, leap into the window really satisfying.
Right. It was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. It was legit. Like you said, this dog jumps 2 stories up into a window.
Yeah.
Just climbs, scales a wall, jumps up a wall into a window 2 stories high.
Yeah, people often cite Buster Keaton as the inspiration for Jackie Chan's stunts and slapstick, but I think it's really Rin Tin Tin.
Is a combination Buster Keaton and Rin Tin
Oh,
Tin
yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
So then Rin Tin Tin becomes the merciless Avenger, protecting this baby, and
Yeah,
just
he
chews the fox to shit and gets blood
there is
everywhere.
blood all over the baby's clothes, all over Rinty, and Gabrielle returns home and he sees like a massacre.
Well, the Native American runs off with the
Sitting
baby.
Bull
Don't
just
forget.
runs away with the baby.
So Gabrielle comes home to Rin Tin Tin, no baby, the baby's clothes, and blood everywhere. And naturally, as you should, he assumes the fucking wolf dog that he left with his baby ate
I
his
knew
baby.
it was a bad idea to bring that dog near my
Right,
baby.
like, oh no, I shouldn't have done that.
What a fucking idiot. But I don't think he should have jumped to conclusions though, because there was no body.
Oh, it's at this point where, do you know the Animaniacs?
Yeah, I know the Animaniacs.
Okay, so it's totally like a Mindy and Buttons situation. You know, the little girl and the dog?
I don't know the dog.
Okay, so it's like the little girl who's like, okay, lady, I love you, bye bye. And then her mom's like, you should call me mom and go be safe. And then she's like, she goes to the dog, it's like, and Buttons, don't you get into any kind of trouble. And then, like, the little girl gets loose, and, like, basically every 10 seconds she almost dies, but the dog saves her life. But then at the end, like, the dog accidentally, like, knocks something over or gets wet. And they're like, bad dog for making that mess, bad dog, even though he's just spent 5 minutes saving a child's life every 10 seconds. And that's what happens to Rin Tin Tin here, except with
Then he gets
a
almost
gruesome
brutally
amount of
whipped.
blood.
Yeah. Gabrielle grabs that whip from the mantelpiece, and I thought he was whipping him at first, which was fucking awful, but he was actually like whipping behind him, trying to scare him.
Yeah.
And then Galloway comes and he wants to
we
shoot
get this
Rin Tin Tin.
we get this
Oh.
great intertitle. My dog, he killed
Yeah,
the baby.
yeah, I got that. I wrote that down. I burst out laughing when I read that.
Yes.
My dog,
Like,
he
oh
killed
my
the baby. It's so stupid.
Maybe you shouldn't bring home fucking wolf dogs and babies. It's not a good combination. One or the other.
The Galloway's like, I told you, let's kill this dog before he kills someone else. And he's like, no, I will shoot my dog, no one else. So, Rinty's obviously scared, and he heads to the wilderness, now that Gabrielle's like fallen out with him. And Gabrielle finds the fur pelts. I mean, Galloway finds the fur pelts at Gabrielle's house, and the investigators like really don't give a shit at this point because they think a baby's been killed.
Yes, yeah, they're like, what do these furs matter?
Yeah, he's like,
There's
we've
a
got
dead
no. Where are
baby.
you going? We've got to find the furs. A fucking kid's dead, man. No, check the closet. And the investigators find the fox half dead in the village, and he basically tells them Galloway's plan and all the fur pelt business. And I think we find Sitting Bull with the baby fine.
Yeah, then we find the baby and Gabrielle knows. And then there's this great scene where Gabrielle goes out into the wilderness and finds Rin Tin Tin.
Yeah.
And they have this like long bonding moment. It was like a rom-com scene when the people are making amends.
Maybe
like he
I
just
can
had this long
change.
conversation. Yeah, he just keeps talking to Rin Tin Tin, and then Rin Tin Tin is like, you had me at
That is so true. And
It's exactly that.
now we need another Rin Tin Tin spin-off, Rin Tin Tin rom-com with Gabrielle and Rin Tin Tin.
I'm glad I was able to still do that joke because I actually said it to my wife and she laughed, and then she yelled at me for making such a dumb joke
That
while we
joke
were
was
watching the movie.
funny. I'm not like other dogs. Yeah, that scene then when Galloway is arrested by the investigators and Galloway punches that cop right in the face, and they didn't fake punches in the 1920s, so you can actually see him punch
Right.
him. And like he then goes onto the horse and rides off into the sunset, and on the way he managed to do
Oh
quite
my
that.
god.
He does like quite a sick stunt when he picks up Gabriel's fiance Felice whilst riding the horse. It's pretty cool.
And then Rin
Then
Tin Tin gets a running start and jumps off of a hill
I think
at
someone threw him.
Galloway.
He like flies towards the house so
Okay,
weird.
I went back and I really couldn't tell. Do you think that was a live dog being jumped at, or jumping or being thrown at, or was that a puppet that went at
I
him?
kept pausing and playing it, and I think it's definitely a live dog, and I'm pretty sure someone threw him at the horse. Like, I can't see
This gotta be
Rinty
one of the
making that
fucking
insane
doubles
jump.
went right under the horse's feet after
Oh
that
my
jump.
god! Like, took 10 takes, there's just 10 dogs dead on the road behind the horse. It's so brutal.
No. Anyway, in that moment, my son said, "Look at that dog being brave." So to get away from the possibility of dead doubles.
Rinty would rather take his chance in the French trenches than be on a film set by the sounds of it.
Right. It was totally a puppet though, when he's wrestling with the dog.
Oh
on the
yeah,
back
that
of the
looks
horse.
silly. Like they just like sellotaped it to his neck. It's like, oh.
Yeah. And so this fight with Galloway ends up Rin Tin Tin pulling him off the horse, and eventually Rin Tin
Yeah.
Tin throws the bad guy off of
Rinty
a
kills
cliff.
a man. He legit kills someone. He's like,
No, he kills two in this movie because the fox dies of his
oh,
wounds.
did he die? I didn't realize he died.
I'm very sure that with his dying breath, he made his confession and that he was dead at the end of that scene.
There was a lot of blood.
So Rin Tin Tin is, like I said, he's a merciless Avenger. This guy is fucking like Charles Bronson in Death Wish.
At the end of this film's like the Lion King. Rin Tin Tin's just looking down at Galloway off the hill, and he's basically like, long live the king, and just pushes him off.
Yeah.
Then Galloway ends up in
Yeah.
a stampede of wildebeest or whatever.
I was kind of hoping that it did end with Rin Tin Tin just like wandering off, you know, like a Western hero. Like he's just too violent for
Yeah.
the
Rin Tin Tin's the
simple
dog with
town
no
life,
name.
and he has to move back off into the wilderness and like go kill more men because he can't settle down.
But then he like turns into a
But
sitcom.
instead-
And he peeks his head through the door.
Instead, he moves in with Gabriel, and it's cheaper by the dozen. When Gabriel's like, "Oh, he went away," but he comes back with his wife, who's not a wolf, by the way.
Yeah, he
So I
finds
guess
another
there's
German
other
shepherd.
German shepherds lost.
Yeah.
And he's got like 9 kids that move in.
Then you get the Rin Tin Tin family spin-off. We're not like other families.
Rin Tin Tin Vision.
Oh my god.
It's just WandaVision, but with Rin Tin Tin.
That was so bad.
Oh, but yeah, I like this movie. It's a nice pulpy adventure, which is exactly what I expected of a Rin Tin Tin movie.
Yeah, I thought
It
it
took a
was decent. I'd have probably given it like a 7 out of 10 if it wasn't so distressing. Like my heart hurt
I would
watching
give it
this.
a 7 out of 10 easily. I could even maybe go an 8 out of 10 if I could fucking
my
see
God.
the damn thing, because the YouTube rip is horrible.
Yeah, I think
But,
I'm gonna
I
check
mean-
out that colour version just to see that cat intestine scene. I'm curious.
A part of it for me though is like those stunts with that dog are amazing.
Yeah, and he actually gives a really good performance. Like, I'm tempted to add
does,
Rin Tin Tin
yes.
to my favourite actors list. It's really
He
good.
does actually like seem sad and lonesome when he needs to seem sad and lonesome, and he's happy and playful when he needs to be playful, and he is aggressive as
Oh my god,
fuck.
he is. You know, I actually think he got nominated for an Oscar. I'm not sure what for, but I'm pretty sure he got nominated for an Oscar.
What for this movie? Oh, you're not sure what
No,
for?
I'll have to read the book more to find out what. But I'm pretty sure he did get
Okay,
nominated.
did Rin Tin Tin win an Oscar? No, he didn't win a Best Picture Oscar. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
Best
Why?
Picture.
I mean, the Oscar started well into his career. He was almost done with his career
Oh, really?
by the time. Yeah, because the first Oscars were like 1929, weren't they?
I don't know. Earliest Oscar thing I know is when that black lady from Gone with the Wind won, but that was like 1939, and I think they were before that.
Okay, so I guess maybe 1928, 1929.
Hmm.
Anyway, I don't know. There's a whole article. We can read it later. I'm not going to do it right now in the middle of the episode or the end of the episode.
Ah, yeah.
Um, I guess the other thing about, yeah, I was saying his performance, like, a lot of times too, when like a dog is being aggressive or violent, like,
Hmm.
there's always the safety of like, well, that's just a trained dog. You know what I mean? It's like in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
But he moves with so much ferocity that you start to forget like that this dog is trained and won't kill these people.
Yeah, like, he's a trained dog, but this dog's also got war experience. Like, he's like always 5 seconds
Yes.
away from snapping
Yes.
and actually ripping someone's throat out.
I guess that's what it is because like we're used to like this dog like Benji ain't got shit on this dog. Like those dogs we've seen before. I guess probably we're gonna see this same problem probably with Junior, is
Oh,
that they were
yeah.
trained to to be movie dogs and do stunts, but this dog was originally trained to fucking kill people. So
What a
I guess no
career!
wonder it's convincing when he's pretending to kill people on screen, because that's his like he was born and bred to kill
Yeah, from
in
trained killer
war.
to trained actor, it's crazy.
This this dog was trained to like run across no man's land and go rip throats out in another trench. So I guess yeah, it makes sense that when he's attacking, I believe 100% that this dog will kill.
It won't surprise me if he did actually kill someone and it was covered up. Like, one of the
Oh my
big
god.
1920s Hollywood scandals, and that's what leads to the court case. Like 12
It's
Angry
a
Men, but with Rin Tin Tin.
it's a shame when they like found him on the battlefield, like he didn't have a collar with like notches in it for how many kills
Oh
he
my
had, because I would
god!
love to
He used to have
know
like 10 dog
Rin
tags
Tin
wrapped around his
Tin's.
tail.
I want to know Rin. He keeps the dog tags.
Yeah!
Oh my
This is a crown I killed the other day. I
I
pushed him
would
onto a
love to
landmine.
know his World War One kill count. I would love to know. I'll just say 50 men, like I've been saying, the King of the Hill joke. I don't know if you have King of the Hill in the
Yeah,
UK.
I love King of the Hill.
Yeah, so he's Cotton Hill. I kill 50
I beat
men.
them to death with Fatty's leg.
Um, so 50. I think that's a fair number for Rin Tin Tin to have killed in war
Yeah,
before becoming a beloved movie
like if
star.
you shave Rin Tin Tin's fur, you'll see like like little scars etched with like the 5 column scars. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
I heard, or underneath his fur, he has the teardrop tattoos.
Rin Tin Tin served time in the pen.
Yeah.
So what you in for? Grrr.
All right. Well, I'm excited to continue with Rin Tin Tin.
Oh hell yeah!
Um, what we have next. So the next several ones of his are missing, but we'll end up with 1924's The Lighthouse by the Sea. And for anyone who wants to watch it with us, it is on archive.org.
Hmm.
If you just search Lighthouse by the Sea 1924, you will find it. The I do love that the person who uploads it has that caveat that like I don't want to hear any complaints about quality. This is an excellent print, and this print looks like someone wiped their ass with it.
Yeah, I think it's less than 144p.
Right? It's like a VHS rip of a VHS rip that was recorded on VHS and then encoded and uploaded. It looks so bad, and I don't even know if like I mean I'm gonna watch it, but I just don't
Yeah.
know how much we're actually going to be able to see going on in that movie.
Well, I guess we'll just have to use our imaginations for some of it.
Do you have any early Rin Tin Tin trivia to go over? before we
Oh, I
sign
think I
off?
covered most of the trivia apart from this. I was going to say for later, but I'm just going to say it now because it's funny. There was this woman in the 1950s, around when, I think it was 50s, maybe 60s, and she not messaged, she sent a letter to,
Yeah, you would have had to send a letter back
yeah,
then.
she didn't have Messenger. She sent a letter to the
A
lead guy,
telegram. She sent a candygram.
She sent a pigeon letter to the dude who owned him, and by then they had like Rin Tin Tin 8. You know Rin Tin Tin? There's like Rin Tin Tin 20 now or something. I think they still kept
Yeah,
going.
I caught wind of that in the opening of the book. That he's it's an ongoing legacy, but I didn't get into like where that lineage is
Yeah,
today
it's
or
like the
anything.
Manson family. It's like a notorious serial killer family. They just keep
But,
breeding Rin Tin
but
Tins.
no, the Manson family wasn't a blood family, Bjork. I mean, they shed blood, but they weren't all
I,
related.
I, you know what I mean? You know what I'm about. I know they weren't
I don't know
related.
what you mean. It's a legacy family. It's just like he's had kids and they keep naming one Rin Tin Tin. Okay, that's nothing like a band of occultist serial killers.
Okay, I was wrong then. Maybe not, but anyway, this.
They didn't even have a second generation. Like they were done after that.
Well, Manson's legacy lives on, okay, like Rin Tin Tins.
Okay, but the family is done.
Okay, the family is done, yeah, definitely.
I mean, what like maybe it could it be like the monarchy?
Oh, I have no clue.
All right,
But yeah,
you have no clue about the monarchy.
I have no idea about the monarchy, though.
Okay. So yeah, it's good to know that you have as much knowledge of them as an American.
Yeah, I do not give a shit about them. I could care less.
Anyway, so Rin Tin Tin the 20th or
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, did you have more to say with
Yeah,
that
yeah.
before I started shitting on you?
This woman, like, messaged Lee for one of Rin Tin Tin puppies because she grew up watching the show and she
All
loved
right.
him. And she was like, she dedicated the rest of her life to going on tour with Rin Tin Tin 8 and, like, taking him to, like, shows and stuff. And the funny part is, when she was touring, she didn't have, like, much money or and she went all on her own in a car with Rin Tin Tin 8. And she
Mm-hmm.
stopped at her friend's house in the desert. And in the book, it just deadpan says, when she stopped there, her friend tried to murder her, but she didn't let it get her down. She carried on. That's all it says, and it just like says it so nonchalantly. I want to know why he tried to murder her and what happened, but it never says.
This book is going on some tangents. Then I
Oh,
can't
it
wait
goes on
for,
some
for to
real
hear the story
tangents.
of
Like we learn all about
Rin
how,
Tin Tin 8 in the middle of the Rin Tin Tin book.
yeah, and we learn all about how fighter pilots in World War One used to take lion cubs up in the air in the planes as like mascots and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes on
That's
a ton
super
of
not
random.
relevant to a dog
It's
actor.
not. You learn so much about the owner. I know more about the owner than I know about Rin Tin Tin at this point.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Well, we'll have more tidbits for next time.
Yeah, true.
And so we'll see you all next time for The Lighthouse by the Sea. That does sound lovely. I hope it has vicious
Hopefully.
man killing dog action.
Rin Tin Tin just ends up drowning a guy.
Oh my god, just holding him underwater
Just
with
like
his
turns on
paws.
the lighthouse light, it blinds him, he falls backwards off the rail into the ocean.
Oh, he's totally going to throw somebody off of a lighthouse into the ocean. I cannot
We're gonna have
wait.
to start keeping track of the Rin Tin Tin kill counts per film.
All right, so far it's 2. Rin Tin Tin kill count is 2.
Yeah.
And we will update you next time. All right. See ya.
Ciao.